Hi everyone, it's Mark here at Teslary, and I put together a quick analysis for the historical price action for Tesla stock for the first trading day after the quarterly delivery and production numbers were released, along with the gain or loss in share value by the earnings report of the same quarter. Though past performance can't predict future performance, what we can try to glean from this is how the market might treat beats and misses. Also, tracking the action by the time the quarterly financial report comes out can show us how important delivery and production numbers really are in that slightly longer time frame. Because we know how Tesla stock loves to retrace moves like good news never happened, right? We won't look at the chart for every quarter, but you can see the last few years compiled here on the right side of the screen. So the situation we're dealing with for quarter 3 of 2023 is that there have been numerous factory shutdowns over the past few months. That leaves a large unknown in the production numbers of vehicles, and how does that affect the delivery numbers? Did we have enough inventory to satisfy demand? Was there demand in the first place given all the price cuts that Tesla has been enacting? Did the high-end models in the S and X clear out their excess inventory that Tesla has been carrying for the past few quarters? There are so many factors going into this report that could affect the numbers that I have no prediction for quarter 3. To compound the unknowns is the limited inventory tracking ability analysts have now, with Tesla trying to cut down on the access as of recent. On the left, I have the chart in a 4-hour time frame showing quarter 2's report of this year's action, and the first thing you're noticing is that there's a nice pop in the share price when the delivery numbers beat consensus. But within just a few days, it almost fully retraced that move up. By the earnings report, the stock moved back up a fair bit, and I chalked it up to the continuation of a larger time frame bullish move. Analysts really missed the mark on this one, and I think after being burned by Q2 2023, they wanted to give Tesla a tough number to beat for this quarter. The 455K delivery estimate for quarter 3 of 2023 is roughly 10K above estimates by analysts in the Tesla community. After the quarter 1 of 2023 delivery and production numbers came out, the stock initially moved higher, even with a very slight beat over consensus. But yet again, you see a retracement of the bullish move within a day's time, and the stock continued lower through the release of the quarter's earnings report. The picture you might be beginning to draw in your head is the numbers may really only affect price for a short term. Momentum from a large time frame, seasonality, and macroeconomic factors weigh on the stock heavily. Moving on to Q4 of 2022's reaction, the actual numbers missed by 13,000 cars, and the stock dropped considerably in the first day. But this 12% crash in the share price was on top of a multi-month drawdown, as you can see in the chart. It was roughly down 50% from December 1st alone. This began a bottoming process that saw share price eventually increase by 18% by the time the earnings report was to be released, and the stock continued upwards even more thereafter. You can kind of see that even from the opposite view of a bad number being realized, that the negativity only lasted a few days before retracing upwards. And it's all because the stock was oversold already. Here is the reaction for quarter 3 of 2022's report, showing a large miss just like the previous chart we looked at. These past few charts would reflect the only significant misses of this sample size, so if you think there will be a miss for tomorrow's report, you can look to these for some idea of what might happen. But do remember, the larger timeframes don't really match the price action we've been seeing during the present time. As of now, September 29th, 2023, Tesla stock is at best consolidating and struggling, but yet still maintaining a bullish momentum. Quarter 3 of 2022's report was released during an external catalyst, the purchase of Twitter by Elon Musk. You did see the stock try to move back up the next day, but it was quickly sold off for weeks thereafter. If you're picking up a small pattern over the last couple of charts, it's that there's sometimes a reversal that you can catch, but it only lasts 1 or 2 days. For quarter 2 of 2022's reaction, the company saw a slight miss, and the stock moved up a few percentage points. But yet again, after a few bullish days, the stock completely retraced the move back down. It rebounded eventually for the earnings report, just like how it did a few months ago in 2023. From a technical perspective, and from a much larger time frame, you can see the stock was accumulating, making higher lows for some weeks. But also seasonality played a factor because Tesla stock can sometimes pop during the summer. Due to the lofty expectations for the report we will see tomorrow, I think this might be one of the best case scenarios. A small miss of a few thousand cars, leading the stock up a few percentage points, and eventually to a larger move up in share price through the earnings report. But then we have Q1 of 2022's report, when we experienced a miss by a few thousand cars again. The stock initially moved up a good amount, 5.6%. Can you guess what happened next? Within a day's time, it completely reversed the move, and it continued lower into the earnings report. Looking at the previous weeks, you might say that a correction was called for anyways, right? Green candle after green candle, a stock can't go up forever. But alas, it would not be a healthy correction. After seeing $385 a share during the day of the production and delivery report, the stock would bottom at $207 a share in less than 2 months. Technically, the stock was rejecting a downtrend established from its all-time highs. How is this relevant for us today? Well, if by some miracle and Tesla stock bounces 12% tomorrow, it would hit that same downtrend. 12% is a lot, so let's say it just goes up 9%. Well, it will touch a shorter time frame downtrend, which was started from the earnings report in July of this year. Tesla stock hasn't generally been interested in capturing downtrends and breaking out from them. Can Tesla stock really move 9 or 12% because of a delivery report? What would that report need to look like? Well, the previous quarter was that exact scenario. Quarter 4 of 2021's numbers were amazing, beating consensus by 43,000 cars, and the stock responded well to that by moving up 13.5% on the news. But do I have to say it? Can you guess what happened 1 day later? 1 week later? 1 month later? It completely reversed the pop in the share price and continued to sell nonstop into the earnings report, through the earnings report, and bottoming a few days later. The total drawdown, peak to trough, was 35%. This will be the last chart we look at, but there are very obvious patterns to the price action around these delivery reports. Even good news generally doesn't stick. Just like the Adam Jonas upgrade from a few weeks ago, the market is unconvinced of the prospects of Tesla and has been for many years. What do we do with this information then? I think it should empower you to do a few things. If you're unhedged, a pop in the stock might give you the opportunity to set hedges for cheap. If you're trading Tesla, then maybe you can take advantage of those obvious profit takings and retracements. It might not make sense to you though. Why would good numbers eventually cause a sell-off in the share price? Well, number one, these numbers are in the past and not reflective of what's happening now or in the near future, which is what Wall Street really cares about. Number two, a sharp move up in the share price can give traders the opportunity to exit and de-risk themselves for the upcoming quarterly earnings report. And number three, we don't know what the street has priced in for quarter 3. So be prepared for anything tomorrow. And perhaps we can be thankful that it'll be released during a trading day so we can do something about it. Good luck, everybody.